Hello and welcome to AM Language, and it's 4 o'clock, well, just after 4 o'clock, and it is our daily live YouTube lesson. So, welcome to today's lesson. Hope all of you are doing well and that you've had a good morning as well. If you had lessons this morning, then I hope you all had good lessons. Lee and Dina, good afternoon and welcome back to welcome to today's lesson. Bruno, Okada, good afternoon to you too. Sergio, welcome. Nice to see you here. Good afternoon. Arena F, Privyet, good afternoon and hello to you. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. In today's lesson, we are going to look at a really good activity that helps you to develop all four skills. It helps you to develop speaking potentially, but we're not going to be able to do that because this is on YouTube. But I will tell you how it helps speaking. It can help writing, listening, and reading as well. Now, out of these four skills, we will be able to do two of these skills. But I will explain how it works in terms of how you get it to work for all four skills. Alida, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson, and buenos dias as well. Like I said, guys, yeah, we are going to look at this. I will first explain to you how this can work or how it would work in a classroom, but we are not in a normal classroom, so there's a limitation to what can be done today. But I will explain how it works, and we definitely will be able to develop writing and listening skills with what I have planned for today. Sandra, good afternoon as well. Guten Tag. If you're watching this later, please make sure you fast forward maybe the first 4 to 5 minutes, as it usually takes us about that much time to get before we can get into it. What I would say is, in terms of, if you have any questions, by the way, at any point, let me know. And on top of that, if I speak too quickly at any point, just let me know. As always, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new, and don't forget, you can always find out more about what is happening at AM Language by going on our social media pages, which you can find in the description below. And on top of that, you can always find out more about how you can have physical live lessons at AM Language by clicking on the link to our website below. Now, before we start, there's something I would like to read out to you guys. And it is a lovely... a while ago, I mentioned about a student who managed to get 7.5 in their IELTS exam, which was fantastic. They were hoping for an IELTS band score of 7, and they got a 7.5. So I'm just going to read out his testimonial, and then that will take us to the point where we can begin. So what he said is that he's from Germany. His name's, I'm not going to give his name, but you'll be able to find his name eventually on our website. But he's written, in order to achieve the right IELTS level for university, I came to Malta to attend AM Language School. I chose this school because it has a high teaching quality and still is one of the cheapest. I've stayed there for 7 weeks and improved my skills in all 4 parts: listening, reading, writing, speaking, considerably. At the end, I've even got a 7.5 instead of the aimed 7. The school offers a unique family-like atmosphere, which boosted my motivation at school. And during various organized activities, every teacher has their own teaching style, which allows an enthusiastic and individual support for all different students, particularly in the IELTS course. My teachers have done greatly, taking every student's strengths and weaknesses into account. Regardless if you're doing it short and intensive or still need enough free time to enjoy Malta, the teacher will adapt to your pace. In my case, it was hard work, but definitely worth the effort. I lived in a shared apartment provided by the school and therefore got in contact with people from all over the world. This was a fantastic experience since I learned various cultures, accents, and made many new friends. Additionally, there will be guaranteed no bed. Additionally, there will be guaranteed no boredom. I definitely recommend this for everyone who want to make quick progress in speaking and listening and overcome their shyness. Coming to Malta to improve my English was a great choice, and I advise it to everyone who wants to combine unforgettable holidays with effective studying. So that is a testimonial from one of our IELTS students. Okay, guys, so let's get into today's lesson. And thank you very much, actually, for that lovely testimonial. I'm very happy with the way the IELTS course has been going at AM Language. Now, this is going to be called, this type of activity, it has an actual name, and it's called a dictogloss. Now, a dictogloss activity is one where the teacher will read at a normal pace, and students have to write down notes. And then they have to try and put this, the paragraph or the sentences together. So what this works on, first of all, it works on listening. And the best way to go about it is to listen for detail. So I'm going to walk you through it of how this works. So let's say this is my sentence that I'm going to read, okay? Just for example, okay? This is the sentence, for example. I would read it in at my normal speed. So I might say, I don't like this rain. If we only knew how far it is to the coast. Okay. In order to do this, you need to write down not the whole sentence, because that's going to be too difficult. What you do instead, you write down key words or little things that tell you what the meaning was. So you might write, for instance, rain. Okay, so you might end up writing this. You might do a little minus sign to tell you that this is a negative start of the sentence, and you would put the most important words, words with meaning, like and rain. You then will put, right, it's an if, only knew, far, and coast. So what you've done is you've written down the most important words that you need to create the sentence with meaning. You then will have time to write. So you will then write, okay, I've got this dash, which means negative, like rain. So how can I write this? You would then say, I don't like rain, for example. Then you've got if, only, knew, far, and coast. So you would then write if only, but we need we need a pronoun, but maybe we've forgotten the pronoun. It helps if we do write the pronoun. So you might write something just slightly different. So if only we knew how far it is to the coast. Okay, so The point of the activity is that you don't write every word exactly how I say it. What we're looking for is meaning. So we concentrate on words. So we only write down words that have meaning. So this is going to be important. Nouns, verbs, and maybe objects of our sentence, for example. We're not going to worry about the functional language. So we're not going to worry about articles like the, and. We're not going to worry about prepositions, and we're not going to worry about maybe the verb to be so much. No, that comes later. That's when we try to put the sentence or sentences together. And this way, we build up our ability to listen for detail. So that's the first thing that this activity does. We're listening. We want to try and develop our ability to listen for detail. And therefore, we're trying to listen for meaning as well. And then when it comes to writing, we're trying to develop our writing skills of note-taking and then writing. Now, with the writing bit, obviously, writing with a similar meaning, or hopefully the exact same meaning. So we're then trying to write what we hear. This works on our ability in terms of what we already know about the language. So I'm going to start off. We're going to take another example. I am now going to read a sentence or two. Make sure you have a pen, pencil, or paper. I will read the sentence twice. Follow the instructions of just writing down keywords. When I finish, I'm then going to give you some time and try and actually type in the live chat section what you think I said. And then we will compare it to what I actually said. The aim of the activity is that you don't say it word for word. You write something that has the same or very similar meaning. So let's have a go and we'll see where we can get to. Now, there might be sometimes new words, but don't worry. That we can expect to find new words. So let's just try first with one sentence. I think that would be the best start. Okay, so we're going to try with one sentence. Don't worry if you're not too sure about the spelling of a word. That's not the most important thing at the moment. We're looking for meaning. Correction of spelling can come later. So I'm going to read the sentence twice. They walked down the jungle trail, now and then looking at their compass. They walked down the jungle trail, now and then looking at their compass. Okay, so you've heard the sentence twice. There might be a couple of new words, which we can always look at. Okay, potential new words here that I think might be the case, which I'd be more than happy to look at in a bit, but I'll put them in just in case you weren't too sure. The two words that I think might be new here are trail and compass, but we can have a look at that. So let's see what you guys write. Let's see what you guys write. You've heard me say it twice. If you need me to say it again for a third time, let me know, and I'll say it again for the third time. But let's see. Let's see how you guys did. Okay, can you write the sentence for me? So at this point, we're just seeing how we can do with one sentence with this type of activity. We're looking at developing our ability to listen for meaning, keywords, our ability to write down those keywords, and then to try and write a similar sentence. I'll say it again anyway, just in case, because obviously you're not in the classroom physically, so it's harder for me to know how you guys are doing. So I'll just say it again. They walked down the jungle trail, now and then looking at their compass. Okay. So we're just going through the steps of this. And at the moment, we're focusing on the writing and listening skill element to it. So Leondina says, walked down jungle now, then looking at compass. Alida put walk down jungle trail, sometimes looking compasses. Okay, so you've written down keywords here. You've got down walk down, jungle, and looking at compass. So you've got the Leondina, you've got some very important sentences there, words there, sorry. Alida, walk down as well, jungle, good, trail, good, sometimes looking compass. Okay, good. So you've now got core words there to help you construct a sentence. So can you now try and complete the sentence? Try and rewrite the sentence now, thinking about the functional language you might need. So we'll need the pronoun of some kind there. So think of a pronoun you can put and think about your articles and linking words and prepositions that you think you might need to complete the sentence. So we've got stage one there. You've written down the keywords. Now, how do we put this into a sentence? Sandra has come in with, they walked down the jungle trail. Now then looking at the compass. Okay, well done, Sandra. We will see later if you are correct. Let's see if other students end up writing something similar. Maybe they put the sentences together in a similar way. It's a really interesting one to see, because chances are once we see about 3 sentences like this, we'll have a good idea. Maybe all of you write the same thing. Maybe there's some differences and you guys can help each other out. Dennis, welcome to the channel, Dennis. It's the first time I've seen you in the live chat section. So thank you for joining us. And I don't know if you have subscribed, but make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. So thank you for joining. So Dennis has written, they walked down the jungle trail, now and again looking at their compass. So really close to what Sandra's written. Sandra has written, it's not complete. Fair enough, Sandra. Leondina has written, they walked down the jungle trail, comma, now and then looking at the compass. Okay, so some really similar answers going on here. I'll give you guys just one more minute in case someone else wants to come in with a sentence that they've put together. Alida has put, they walked down the jungle trail, comma, now and then looking at the compass. Okay, so we've had a lot of good responses here. Very, very similar answers as well. What we will see here is actually, okay, what we can see is that you all have taken away a very similar meaning. So let's look at what the original text that I had read, and we'll see how close you guys are. Remember, the most important thing we're looking at this when we're looking at this is meaning. Have you written down a sentence that has a very similar or the exact same meaning? Sandra says, my own stuff is not complete. All right, okay. Not to worry, Sandra. Let's see now. So this is what I had read, and it says, they walked down the jungle trail, comma, now and then looking at their compass. So instantly we can see that all of you have written down a sentence that has the same meaning. So we can tick that straight away. Same meaning. So 100% on that one. Let's look at the next small differences. I think the only small difference is maybe, what might the small difference be? I think maybe, yeah, I think the only difference is maybe the linking word and, possibly, and then the comma. So 2 really small, slight differences, but excellent. We've managed to successfully complete the task. And all of you who've written here, have managed to achieve the main task, which is making sure that you write something that has the same meaning. So we're now going to make things a little bit harder. I'm now going to read something slightly longer by comparison, and we're going to see how we do. For this one, I'm going to I'm going to read more, okay? I'm going to read the rest of this little paragraph. It's not very long, but it'll be long enough. So I'm going to read this twice, and then if you need me to read it a third time, I will. Remember, guys, as I read, just write down keywords. Don't worry about the small bits of language. That comes later. So I'll begin. Okay, so there was no direction anywhere, only what the compass said. There was a grey sky and rain falling, and jungle and a path, and far back behind them somewhere, a rocket in which they had ridden and fallen. A rocket in which lay two of their friends, dead and dripping rain. Okay, so I'll read it again. There was no direction anywhere, only what the compass said. There was a grey sky and rain falling, and jungle and a path, and far back behind them somewhere, a rocket in which they had ridden and fallen. A rocket in which lay two of their friends, dead and dripping rain. So I've read the whole paragraph. In total, you need to try and think of how many sentences you need. I can tell you if it's... See if you can write this within 3 to 4 sentences. Okay, so if you're aiming for 3 to 4 sentences, you're going to be in the right sort of area. So yeah, aim for about 3 to 4 sentences. Again, we're looking for meaning. That's what we're aiming for. If you can get the meaning correct, excellent. Even if you write it slightly differently, let's say you write one extra sentence, for example, that doesn't mean it's wrong. Like I said, we're really looking for meaning. Once you've got the meaning, it's then a question of what you've written. Does it make sense? Is it grammatically correct? It doesn't matter if it's not identical or exactly the same as to what I have read, because that's not the point of the activity. Like I said, guys, we're looking out and we're working on our ability to develop listening for specific information, our note-taking, and then our ability to create what we have heard into our own words. Okay, and it's like what you can say is it's the basics of what you would do if you are at university listening to someone speak, if you're listening to someone lecturing, or in any other environment, actually, maybe like journalism as well. It's these basic skills. I'll read it again just one last time as well. So, there was no direction anywhere, only what the compass said. There was a grey sky and rain falling, and jungle and a path, and far back behind them somewhere, a rocket in which they had ridden and fallen. A rocket in which lay two of their friends, dead and dripping. Okay. So, I'm going to give you guys just a little bit more time to try and complete this. Now, I will say this, the way this activity would work is in terms of, okay, I'll save that for later after you guys have done this, and then I will explain how the rest of the activity would work. So Leonardina says, no directions anywhere, only compass, grey sky, rain, falling, jungle, path behind, rocket, which two friends dead, dripping. Okay, excellent, Leondina. So Leondina has successfully written down a lot of key words. So now, Leondina, now that you have all those words there, let's see if you can rewrite these sentences. Now, if any of you who are watching have any questions about what words you heard, have a look at what Dina has, have a look at what Leondina has written in the live chat. There's a lot of good language there that can help you create the paragraph. Alida has written, no direction, only compass, grey sky, rain, jungle, and path. Far back behind, rocket, where friends fallen and died. Excellent. Well done, Alida. Really good. Very similar to Leondina. You've written down some of the most important words that you will need in order to try and recreate the sentence. So, guys, anyone else watching, you've now got two very good live chat posts by Leondina and Alida in terms of the words that you will need in order to complete the task. Okay, so I'll leave you guys to try and actually write the sentences that hopefully will end up having a very similar meaning. Like I said, guys, afterwards we will then go into what would normally be the speaking activity, but we can't do it verbally, obviously. So it's just going to be a conversation sort of writing activity, but it's going to, it would be what we would do if we could speak, where we're going to discuss what we think the story might be. And then the reading would come later. The reading would then come later after we've discussed where if this was an actual classroom, you would then have time to read the actual story to see if your predictions and your thoughts, see if they were correct. So, and that is why this activity works on all four skills when it's done in a classroom. In this case, on YouTube, we can only actually complete 2 of the skills. But nonetheless, there's a lot of really good things that we can get out of this. It is a very good listening activity. I know that, I don't know, it's one of, as a teacher, it's one of my favorite activities to do when I want to develop all 4 skills at the same time. So it's a good activity and it works really well in the classroom as well. So we'll see how you guys do, because you are trying to write 3 to 4 sentences here, trying to reconstruct the sentence. If you want me to say the paragraph one more time, just let me know in the live chat. It's not something I would normally do in a classroom because I would usually get people to work together to put their notes together. So on your own, it's definitely harder, without question. It's definitely harder when you're having to try and think of a whole paragraph. Actually, come to think of it, the fact you guys are not working with a partner, I'll say it anyway. I'll just read it again anyway to help you out. So there was no direction anywhere, only what the compass said. There was a grey sky and rain falling and jungle and a path, and far back behind them somewhere, a rocket in which they had ridden and fallen. A rocket in which lay 2 of their friends, dead and dripping rain. Okay, so I've said that one again. I should say, by the way, guys, I didn't say before, trail, by the way, in the previous one, trail is another word for path. So a road, well, it's not a road, but it's what you would walk on. So if you're walking in the woods, in the forest, you would follow a path, a trail that people have made. And compass is obviously something that you look at that tells you if you're going north, or it will tell you north, south, east, west. That is what a compass is. I don't know what it is in other languages. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what it is in Spanish or Italian, for example. So let's see how you guys go about trying to complete this one. And it's just a paragraph. Like I said, it's 3 to 4 sentences. And it is challenging. It is challenging, but it is a very good activity. And like I said, it's one that I like to use in class when I'm teaching a physical lesson. There are so many benefits to having physical lessons at the end of the day. And this is one of them. But it's a good activity. It's definitely a good activity. Okay, so I'll give you guys, it's now past, so I'll give you guys just a little bit more time. Bruno Okada has written, there was no direction anywhere, only one compare. It's a grey sky, rain falling in the jungle and path. Far back behind rocket, where 2 friends fallen from the rocket and dripping away. Okay. Bruno Okada, well done. Thank you very much for that post. We will see. Let's see if other students agree and have written something similar. So Sandra has written, there was no direction anywhere, only what the compass sat. There was a grey sky and rain falling in the jungle. Okay. So slightly different, not as long. Maybe there's more to come. A leader has written, there was no direction anywhere, only what the compass said. There was a grey sky and rain falling, and jungle and the path, and far back behind somewhere a rocket in which they had hidden and fallen. A rocket in which 2 friends dead and dripping away. Okay, so slightly different. It's definitely a hardened activity. You've all kind of got very important elements in there as well. We've managed to, we all agree that they're in a jungle, it's raining, that there's a rocket of some kind as well. Leondina has written, there were no directions anywhere. They only have their compass. There was a grey sky and a rain falling in the jungle path. Behind a rocket, 2 friends dead. Okay, right. So let's see. You've all given me some really interesting answers. I'm now going to share with you what the actual paragraph was, and we will then look to see how close you were. Remember, the most important thing about this is meaning. Have we managed to write something with a very similar meaning? Thought there was more coming from Sandra, and Sandra has said, falling in the jungle, a rocket in with lay 2 of their friends dead and dripping rain. Okay, well done. Thank you very much, Sandra, for that contribution. We will now have a look to see how correct you and the other students were. So you've all said roughly the same thing, but in a very different way. You got lost in the middle. Understandable. It is one of the harder things when it comes to this sort of thing. We can get the beginning, we can get the end, but the middle is always going to be the harder bit to keep track of. So this was the actual thing. There was no direction anywhere, only what the compass said. There was a grey, in this case, by the way, grey has been spelt in the American English way, not in the UK English way. I'll just like to point that UK English, it's with an E. US English, this is it's going to be spelled with an A, and that's just a difference between UK and American English. So there was no direction anywhere, only what the compass said. There was a grey sky and rain falling, and jungle and a path, and far behind them somewhere a rocket in which they had ridden and fallen, a rocket in which lay two of their friends, dead and dripping rain. So I think when we mix all of you who have written, if we mix all of your sentences together, I think we can end up with this actual paragraph. I would say individually, you've all got the key points in. I mean, in terms of meaning, they're in a jungle. They've got two friends who are dead. The situation is raining. There's a rocket involved, and they are lost in some sort of way. So I think all of you managed to get the key elements of meaning in. What then is just slightly different is the way you guys have constructed your sentences. Maybe the odd word that is slightly different, as well as choice of application of grammar. Now, if this was an actual lesson, we would then go into looking at trying to sort out the mistakes that might be there. Maybe the odd spelling mistake, choice of word or grammar. That's what we would then look at. But in this case, considering it's the idea in this lesson is just to work on meaning, that's what we want to concentrate on, because that's the first thing. If we don't understand the meaning of what is happening, then we can't do anything else. So I would say, well done, guys. I don't think there's anyone here that has told me that by what they've written, they haven't understood the meaning of what is happening. So that is a big tick. So we have achieved our goal. There's lots of things we could work on, but there just isn't enough time. So I now want to move on to the next bit. And this would be usually a speaking activity, but we can't do an actual physical speaking activity. So it's just going to be more of a writing activity, but write as if you were writing on WhatsApp, maybe. And what I would like you guys to do is just share your thoughts, okay? Okay, share your thoughts on this story. And it's quite simply, okay, share your thoughts on the story. What do you think the story might be about? So this is now where we talk about where we would have a conversation of speculation, okay, or you will speculate. Now, speculate, really good word. If you don't know what it means, when we speculate, we talk and think about what something might be. Okay, so we don't know at this point, but we want to talk, we want to share ideas. So if you share ideas, you speculate. So speculate is the verb, speculation is the noun. So I would like you guys in the live chat to speculate for me. Can you speculate and tell me what you think this story might be about? What do you think this story might be about? So we've got people in a jungle, it's raining, there's a rocket, maybe they've crashed. It sounds like they've crashed in some sort of way. They've got two friends who have died. We've got lots of ideas. Do you think this is sci-fi? Is this scientific? Is this science fiction? Maybe these are people who've gone to explore another planet. Is it over here? Is it on Earth? Are we talking about maybe a crew on a rocket trying to go to space, but they've had an accident and they've crash landed in the jungle, for example? What do you think the story is about? So that's the idea. So leave the answers in the live chat here, where you guys can speculate. So like I said, guys, and this is one of the other things, you've got two types of things as a teacher that you can go for. Two goals. I'm going to use the term goals, okay? or two aims. You can either have a lesson which is to develop fluency, or you can have a lesson that develops accuracy. When you have a lesson that's developing accuracy, which is probably most of our lessons, you're looking at trying to make sure people get the sentences right, use the words correctly, use the grammar correctly. But just as important, sometimes the teacher might decide, no, we need to focus on fluency. So when you focus on fluency, this is when we look at meaning and our ability to communicate. When the focus is on meaning, the teacher is going to they might make notes of the errors and the errors in language, and at the end of the lesson, they might give feedback on it. But it's not the focus. The focus is meaning. So if it's meaning and the ability to communicate, this is when we would say that this is fluency. And it's really important. You can't develop your English without developing both fluency and accuracy. We need them both. So Lena Dina has written, in my opinion, the story is about an adventure in the jungle, maybe a little bit awful. Excellent, Leondina. Thank you for your speculation as to what you think this story might be about. What I will do is, if you are interested, I will leave the link to this story in the description below, as well as leaving it in the live chat section. So if you want to find out what the story is, you can do. And not only that, I'm very happy to say there's also an audio as well. There's an audio to it. So if you want to listen to it, you can do. So I'll leave that there. And if you want to look at it, read it in your own time, you can do. I'll give you guys just a little bit more time before the end. If anyone else would like to come in and let me know what you think let me know what you think this story might be about. Please do so. And then that will bring us to the end of the lesson. But yeah, this is a really good activity. And if you like this sort of thing, if you like this activity and you would like me to do more activities like this in the live lesson, just click the like button and feel free to comment as well to let me know. Just to remind you guys, tomorrow is Wednesday, so we are going to be looking at past forms. Okay, so that's going to be, because we're looking at past forms, tomorrow the focus is going to be on more to do with accuracy, most likely. With, in some cases, the more difficult grammar, we're going to look at accuracy. Maybe with the easier grammar, we might choose just to focus on meaning. But I think first we'll probably just mainly look at accuracy tomorrow. Alida has said that she thinks it's science fiction or fantasy. I agree. I think it might be that as well, Alida. And Sandra has written, there are fighter plays in a war. Oh, like fight. I think you mean fighter planes, maybe fighter jets with houses in the jungle, and they are charging they're charging the way out of the jungle, and then there's an accident. So then this happens and there's an accident. Okay, so Sandra has painted a picture that maybe there's like some fighter pilots, and that there's been an accident and they're trying to fight their way out of the jungle. Oh, horses. I see. Okay, horses. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, great, excellent. Okay, guys. So with horses instead of houses. Okay, yeah, I think that makes a bit more sense in terms of what you were talking about. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching the lesson, and I hope you've enjoyed. It. Dennis says, sounds like a typical story about surviving in jungles. You could very, very well be right there. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to leave you two links, actually. the first link I'm going to leave you is the link to this particular story. And for more stories, um, there's a few things you can go to actually when it comes to stories. So Sandra says that, so yeah, that's the link, guys. I've shared the link. Sorry, I was just going to share one link. So here's the link to that story, where you guys can find out what the story is actually about. You're welcome, Sandra. You too, and I'm glad that you enjoyed the lesson. Thank you, Arena F. Thank you, Dennis, as well, for joining us today. Hope to see you again. So thank you, Arena. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Alida. Thank you, Leondina. I think I've mentioned. Oh, thank you, Sergio, as well, and thank you, Bruno Okada, for participating in the live chat section today. Very well done, all of you. And everyone who has participated in the live chat section. It's really interesting to see this kind of engagement. So thank you there. To any of you watching this later, make sure, if you're new, don't forget, subscribe, share, click on the links below if you want to find out how you can have physical lessons at AM Language in Malta. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon. Have a great evening, wonderful day. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 4 o'clock Maltese time, and we're going to be looking at past forms. Thank you very much, Leondina. I'm really pleased you enjoyed the lesson. Great use of the word cracking lesson, by the way. Good term, cracking. And Dennis, thank you very much for saying done. I'm guessing you've subscribed. Excellent. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Take care of yourselves, and bye for now.